Good afternoon, everybody. This is Aquatic here on my own channel. So, since you guys are all new here, not new to me, hit that like and please hit the subscribe button since we are sitting at a dismal 2 subscribers. Hopefully with this video, posting it in the Discord and probably logging on to the AR Markets YouTube, we can direct some of the traffic here and get up to a whopping 7 subscribers. Let's shoot for that. Anyway, guys, hopefully I'll be doing a regular upload schedule on here, and I plan on doing a segment of content in a slightly different format focused entirely on current events. Post the articles in the background, we'll go over them, I'll highlight the important stuff, and basically give you guys the news, and I'll do all the legwork and read it so you don't have to. Hopefully we'll keep these down to a little bit shorter time and get right to the point. I see a lot of YouTubers who do daily briefs, boots on the ground, this is what's happening, and they're 47 minutes long. Nobody in their right mind has 47 minutes every single day to sit there and listen to one guy ramble on about 5 minutes of news and 47 minutes of bullshit with the comments. That being said, let's hop into this. If you guys have any comments to add, I'm going to ask again at the end, but definitely throw those down below. I want to try and start a community on here of information sharing. So if anything topic wise or related to the channel comes up, if you guys see something, say something in the comments on the ground as far as inflation, food shortages, parts shortages, layoffs, you name it, anything to do with the economy that you're seeing in real time in your town or state, let us know. Or your country, what's going on in Germany, France, Spain, Italy, or Russia, Ukraine, China, Japan, wherever you guys are at, Africa, let us know. So if you guys are seeing the effects, definitely comment below. All right, guys, let's hop into it. Here from Market Watch, everybody's not favorite news site, we have also to the last comment here, and then we'll get into it. I was meant to do this video a few days ago, so these headlines are a couple days old. I had actually recorded the video, and there was an issue with the editing and then an issue with being logged into a couple different sites, so I had to scrap the whole video. So this is a remake essentially. Anyway, Market Watch: recession, millions of layoffs, mass unemployment, hornet's nest stirred up by Larry Summers' latest forecast. Talks of recession and mass unemployment is obviously all over the news. Former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers is the chief reason, they're claiming. Summers on last Monday said the U.S. needs several years of high unemployment to get the worst inflation in 40 years back under control. I'm going to let you guys know right now, it's a lot worse than 40 years. Let's go back about 80. U.S. would have to endure a second recession. We're already in a recession in 3 years, and as many as 10 million people would have to lose their jobs. Already underway, and we're going to hop into that in these later articles. Layoffs at 95 tech companies in June quicken potential recession slide. Again, we're already in a recession. It'll be official at the end of this quarter. 2 quarters of negative GDP growth. Number of technology companies laying off employees has increased every month since January, reaching 95 in June, affecting more than 48,000 people. Ladies and gents, this is just the start. Largest privately owned rental platform in North America announced that it would lay off 15% of its workforce on Thursday. 2 weeks earlier, Tesla announced it would lay off 10% of its salaried workforce. The bottom line, everybody, when you have a company, let's say production, when you can't get the parts, the supplies, the materials to make the manufactured goods that your factory makes, you don't keep people on payroll for no reason, and then the cycle just gets worse and worse. If you're Toyota and you can't make the cars and then you lay off the workers, even if you get the parts, it's very hard to just hire everyone back. So the whole supply chain is sludging along and is going to be very laggy, even if things theoretically, which they're not, but even if they theoretically resolve themselves, it would be a lengthy process to get back to full capacity. So these problems are just starting. I want you guys to understand that in 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, these things are going to compound and it's going to look exponentially worse. This is just the tip of the iceberg, and companies are already laying off 20% of their workforce. So here we've got Redfin, 6% of their workforce is being laid off. And they finally admit that 82% of consumers expect a recession by 2023. Again, we are already in a recession in 2022. This is June 25th, 2022. We are in a recession already. This one's from CBS News. Layoffs rise to pre-pandemic levels. Weekly layoffs have risen modestly since hitting a 50-year low in March, indicating that the white-hot job market is cooling off. It's going to continue to cool off. 229,000 initial unemployment claims from Thursday. Here we can see the jobless claims over the past year. We can take a look in March when it started to kind of tick up again with the averages, and then especially April, where we've steadily climbed up for both the initial claims and the 4-week average. So you can see that here. I expect we're just going to keep on cruising all the way back up to not only 2021 levels, but 2020 levels are being thrown around as well. That's right. Economists are saying that we could be looking at something worse than 2020 when everything collapsed entirely and ground to a halt. Crypto trading platform Coinbase said last week it intended to cut 1,100 jobs, or approximately 1/5. That's 20% of its global workforce, as part of a restructuring plan to help manage operating expenses in response to current market conditions, which will only get worse. JP Morgan Chase adds to mortgage industry layoffs. JP Morgan, biggest bank in the country, is laying off hundreds of its in-home lending businesses, or from home. More than 1,000 workers are affected currently. Again, that's only going to get worse. Elon Musk clarifies Tesla's saying 3.5% of their workforce, but 10% of their salaried, so still whatever. In the next 3 months, Musk reportedly said that he has a super bad feeling about the economy. I wonder why. It's almost like they can't get parts to even build Teslas anymore. There's currently an issue with that, though. Under the Workers' Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act, employers, I believe this is California, I'd have to double check the state, they're required to give 60 days advance notice of mass layoffs or plant closures, which apparently wasn't done. Although Musk on Twitter, if you guys recall, he did say, hey guys, it is what it is, but gotta lay people off, which I do have to give him a lot of credit for. You know, people are usually a little more open to things when you simply tell them, hey, this is how it is, this is what's going on, can't afford to do this, sorry guys, closing up. Now, massive layoffs at Southern Motion Fusion expected. Now, this is a furniture manufacturing company. Significant layoffs are expected to be announced at one of the largest furniture manufacturing companies in Mississippi, with 2,000 workers being employed currently, and several hundred will be affected. They cited inventory counts plus continued supply chain issues have led to the decision. Massive layoffs hit one of the top U.S. aluminum plants, halting operations entirely. U.S.'s top aluminum manufacturing plant has made massive cutbacks to its workforce, putting a halt to all operations for at least 9 months, the company said Wednesday. Guys, it's not going to open in 9 months. It's not going to open in a year. This company's probably gone. The factory is not coming back. Citing an unprecedented rise in global energy prices, Century Aluminum in Kentucky announced they will be laying off 628 smelter employees starting August 5th. In fact, mass layoffs are happening nationwide as fears of an economic downturn continue to escalate. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy as layoffs beget rising costs, shortages, etc., etc., etc. The cost required to run our Hawesville, Kentucky facility has more than tripled tripled, guys. The historical average is a very short period. Given these circumstances, it is necessary to fully curtail operations for a period of approximately 9 to 12 months. So already in that statement, we've gone from 9 to 12, or until energy prices return to a more normalized level. It could be a very long time, in fact, never, an eternity. 628 employees also include 504 employees, and they work for the United Steel, Paper, Forestry, Rubber Manufacturing, Energy, Allied Industrial Service Workers Union. So I'll be curious how the unions respond. Century is one of America's largest aluminum producers. It's used for things like F-16s, Airbuses, naval war vessels, 747 airplanes, and the International Space Station. Layoffs in the technology industry are amassing every month since January. Like we said in the first article, layoffs at 95 tech companies have affected over 48,000 people. Again, this is just the start. And then they just reiterate Tesla, 10% of their workforce, and Redfin once again. Latest, Wells Fargo is undergoing a major transformation under CEO Charlie Scharf, but controversies and layoffs continue to dog the bank. Consumer scandals were cited, and they've already fired dozens of loan officers. Again, that's Wells Fargo, and we've already talked about JP Morgan, guys. Big one, Bloomberg, German inflation hits fresh record. Food and energy costs and consumer prices up 8.7%. Spain is also seeing all-time high inflation. German producer price inflation surges to 33.6% in May. And people say I'm crazy for saying the US is at 25%. Well, German PPI is at 33.6, and that's for May. Let's see how it is in June, July, August, September, as it continues to get worse. Again, guys, that's the highest level since post-World War II, last recorded in 1949. That's horrible. Absolutely horrible. We're not just in a recession. Okay, this is Great Depression level numbers. Germany's price hike hits record 33.6%. Basic chem prices rise 33.2%. Here's a small breakdown of just a couple of sectors from energy. We've got chem prices 29.2%, basic chemicals 33% up, ethylene-based polymers up 31%, vinyl chloride up 20%, synthetic rubbers up 26.8%. Again, just the start. Inflation surges to 7.7% in Canada. Much higher than that, guys. Fastest pace since 1983. Price pressure adds urgency for aggressive interest rate hikes, which they won't do because we're in a debt-based system that would simply collapse if you put the brakes on too fast, too hard. That's the flaw in having an entire structure based on servicing debt. Trudeau government facing calls to do more to help households. Again, they're already saying this after a month of gas being $5 a gallon average. So, guys, Canada, worst inflation since 1983. Get ready for this one. UK inflation rate hits a new 40-year high of 9.1%. And that's what they're admitting is 9.1%. Imagine what it actually is on the ground for the everyday person. 40-year high and up slightly from the previous month. Again, wait until June, July, August, September, all the way up to December's numbers are going to be. The Office for National Statistics Wednesday said consumer price inflation rose slightly from 9% in April, which was the highest since 1982. Again, Canada, worse since 1983. UK, worse since 1982. Continues steep food price rises and record petrol, gasoline for us Western folk. Clothing costs rise. And also they cite no quick end to the cost of living squeeze facing millions in Britain. Inflation could hit 11% in October. It's higher than 11% right now. Russia war in Ukraine is squeezing supplies of energy and food staples such as wheat. Again, we've been talking about wheat and food and fertilizer for over 2 years. Pressure is driving workers to seek substantial pay increases, a move conservative government argues could spark a wage price spiral, driving inflation even higher. That is true. Speaking of wages, I just saw Texas, I believe, wants to increase minimum wage to $22. Holy cow. Sheesh. Absolute insanity. Now, Germany says its energy crisis may trigger Lehman like contagion as the country moves to step towards natural gas rationing. Again, natural gas rationing is being discussed currently. Moved to a second of its three-stage emergency gas plan on Thursday after Russia slowed supplies to Germany, exacerbating concerns over an energy crunch. These supply fears have already driven European natural gas futures up by 85% year to date. Again, they're mentioning Lehman Brothers, which filed for bankruptcy in 2008 amid the subprime mortgage crisis, which spilled over and caused the global financial crisis. Again, it's much worse than that. That's simply what they're telling you. Uh, Moving on real quick to monkeypox. Couple interesting headlines there. World Health Network declares monkeypox outbreak officially a pandemic. New York City launches monkeypox shots, but walking demand overwhelms capacity. That's something interesting that we're not being told a lot about, but supposedly what they're reporting on the ground is escalating, both demand for the shots and the spread of cases. You guys have all heard about Roe v. Wade being overturned. No comment there. You know, at the end of the day, guys, I will say this. It doesn't matter what your stance is or isn't, but the fact is they put the power back into the state's hands. That is a fact. And I also think it's very funny, hypocritical, and ironic that the countries around the world who are the U.S.'s allies are all saying they are horrified at what they're seeing. But a fun fact, let's take Mississippi for an example. The Mississippi law that the Supreme Court upheld bans abortion only after 15 weeks. It's not entirely banned altogether. That's a very big distinction. You know, it's not a complete blanket ban. Abortion is banned. Well, like I said, I'm using Mississippi as an example, is banned after 15 weeks. Emmanuel Macron said, abortion is a fundamental right for all women and it's got to be protected. And he wants to express his solidarity with the women whose liberties are being undermined by the Supreme Court. Well, the funny thing about that, again, Mississippi banned after 15 weeks. France bans abortion after 12 weeks. That's right, you can get an abortion legally in Mississippi post Roe v. Wade with more time available than you would in France. Again, another one, Spain. Spain bans abortion after 14 weeks. So again, using Mississippi as the example, banning abortion after 15 weeks. Spain bans abortion after 14 weeks. You can get an abortion a week later in Mississippi, USA, than you can in Spain. Oh, same thing in Belgium. Belgium bans abortion after 12 weeks. You could get an abortion 3 weeks later in Mississippi, USA. Those are just a couple examples that I wanted to throw out there as unbiased facts for you guys to mull over. Again, unopinionated. That is true. 15 weeks versus 12 to 14 in European countries, which I just think is funny when all of them are towing the line and hopping on social media to fuel the flames that has led to this. Night of Rage. That's why this is relevant, and I felt like bringing it up because now Antifa is back, QAnon is back for the first time in 2 years, and, you know, obviously any opportunity they can get to further divide the country, they will take advantage of every good crisis, and what better one than this? It's wonderful. So yes, watch out for the rioting, looting, and basically 2020 race riots post George Floyd, except now for Roe v. Wade. I do enjoy the play on words though. Night of Rage, Kristallnacht was the Night of Broken Glass in Germany with the Jews. You know, I'm not sure if they intentionally. I'm not even gonna say I'm not sure. I guarantee that's what the play on words is. Real quick here, U.S. long-range rocket systems used for the first time in Ukraine. The missiles can hit targets about 50 miles away. They are the HIMARS, or HIMARS, High Mobility Artillery Rocket Systems. Persisting fears Washington and Moscow could enter direct conflict. It would take at least 3 to 4 weeks to train Ukraine forces on using them. However, they are using them after they were rapidly deployed, which proves that U.S. advisors in a neighboring country have already been training the Ukrainians on these weapon systems. Just another interesting development that could turn into something, maybe nothing, we'll see. The war is certainly not over, and in another video we're going to talk about the BRICS alliance and some big news on reserve currencies. Anyway, guys, if you found any of this useful, please leave a like, comment what you guys are seeing on the ground, and definitely hit that subscribe button, share with friends, family, all that good stuff as we try to rebuild the aquatic channel. With that, have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.